Hi everybody, this is our new introductory video to our new location at 12th and Arch Street. We've got some lively neighbors, the Reading Terminal Market, and the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Our shop is down the way here at 1216 Arch Street. Come on along, I'm going to take you there. We've even got a Panera Bread right on the corner, but of course you can always go into the terminal and get some delicious food. I love the pretzels, and Beeler's has some great donuts, apple fritters, very good. Our new location is right above the Center for Architecture and the AIA bookstore, which actually just closed, unfortunately. And we're right next door to the Fabric Workshop and Museum. So anybody who's familiar with either of those places, you'll know exactly where we're located. For those of you who have been in Philadelphia for a long time, you'll know that this block was once a rather seedy location, but it's come up in the world. So here we are, 1216, the young Smithfield building, Rittenhouse, Needlepoint. Let's find us. There we are. No doorbell, people. Just go right in. We've got elevator buttons here and two different elevators. The one on the far side will wait for you, so don't worry. Floor number 2. Very quick ride. Once the doors open,
Floor 2, going up.
You're going to want to turn right or left toward the glass door. And here we are, our new location. Come on in. And welcome. Oh, here's Winnie. Hi, Winnie. Winnie is a year and a half old, and she's going to be completely silver. But she is kind of gray now, but she's very sweet, but she is a little skittish. So if she doesn't come running over to you, don't take it personally. Right, puppy? Yeah. She knows lots of tricks, don't you? All right, let's try one. Sit. Sit. Winnie. Winnie. Sit. Here's another trick. You ready? She can also do turn. Here we go. You ready? Winnie. Winnie. Ready? Turn. Yeah. Good girl. Okay, sit. Hey. Now shake. Very good. Very good. Oh,
Okay, welcome everyone. I'm Russell from Rittenhouse Needlepoint. Stephen, this will be important for you all to know that Stephen and I are launching two big things in the new store, and I'm going to take you for a tour of the store. But I want you to know two special things that we're doing in this new store. One is our classes and education and retreat program, which you'll hear a lot more about in our newsletter. And Stephen is going to run that division. And the second thing is a very ambitious project that both of us have thought about for years. And that's basically, like today you're going to see a quick tour of our store. But eventually we're going to build a tour of the store that will be interactive. And so I might be talking about a particular thread. I might just say, hey, look at this Planet Earth 6-ply silk. And you will have the option to press a green dot or a red dot or something at below the tour. And that will launch into a video of Stephen talking about why planet Earth 6-ply silk is so fabulous, and he'll tell you all about it. And so right now we have 151 lines of thread. So imagine we're going to have, at that moment, 151 videos of threads. Our goals within 2 years is to be over 200 lines of thread. So the video will be interactive. It will be a whole learning education. It will be quite spectacular. We're looking forward to it. So let's go have a tour. You can see, if some of you who have been to Rittenhouse Needlepoint, the previous store, our store was just a little larger than this entire space. It was about 1,000 square feet. We were very proud of it. It took us 10 years to build. And this store is quite massive. You're going to see in a few minutes. We are very, very lucky to have been able to purchase this property. So we have lots of big plans for it. But it's a very industrial space. It's 6,000 square feet with 16-foot high ceilings. And there are elevated offices and an elevated private classroom, which we will take a tour of in a moment. But let's have a quick discussion about the flower program. This is an idea. Most of you know that we own Rittenhouse Needlepoint. We have a full-service needle finishing company, and that finishing company has 16 finishers. We have 7 painters on staff. We have a charity program, a wholesale program, and now with this store, the education program. So the very special thing that Rittenhouse has been able to do, because we own this finishing company and painting company, we can come up with these ideas that might be pretty far out. And the finisher and the painter can get together and collaborate and say, well, the painter might say, well, I want to paint it this way, but the finisher then says, well, if you paint it that way, I won't be able to finish it properly. So Stephen and I used to be in the flower business in Philadelphia, and we love flowers. And so if you look at some of these flowers right here, let's just take this poppy flower. So the painter painted, that's the front of the poppy, and we painted, so if you bought this canvas, you get a front and a back, and then how it's finished, it will be, here's the finish, one of the finished poppies is right up there. And it has the botanically correct stem as well. Here's another one. If you look at the stem itself, it has the botanically correct stems. Stephen was very adamant about getting the botanically correct stems. So when we finish, we can do all different kinds of ways of finishing. And the collaboration is really key. So if you want to build something, you can build it. We can build it. We built all kinds of crazy things. We built footballs, 3-dimensional footballs in needlepoint. Here's some houses and boxes. All of these things can be finished. The next house that Stephen does, the roof will open up and it will all be tufted silk inside as a little special inside thing. Let's have a tour. I'm sorry, I get distracted. So when you see these furniture racks, all of these furniture spin racks have one particular thing on it. All of these are Christmas stockings. Another thing that we did in this new space is we built shelves up all over the store, and the concept, and I'll show you later on, is to have a finished item and then have the canvas right next to it. So if you love this big floor pillow up here, then the canvas would be right next to it for you to purchase. Again, right now we've advanced to 151 lines of thread from 118. We're a full service shop. So in this room here, we built a living room so you can come and stitch with us anytime. And this room will be eventually all 18 mesh threads. We will build some more walls in the center here that will house all of the new lines of thread. But there's quite a bit of thread here. We've tried to space it out for the capability of so much expansion that we need to do. You can see that whole shelf up there is all bags. We just hired a woman named Carmen a few months ago, and she does all of our bags in-house. This has lowered the cost of finishing of bags tremendously. Over here, you can see that we're still in moving in stage, but one of my pet peeves when I buy a frame, a lap stand, is that I have to put it together if I'm the customer, and I don't want to put stuff together. So Rittenhouse Needlepoint will put all of the lap stands together, and you will be able to buy lap stands right off the shelf, ready to go. There'll be lap stands, scrolls, fixed frames, System 4s. Stephen brought in a new company from England with stands, and we will just keep expanding our sources. And all of that will be displayed. This whole area here will all be frames and supplies. You know, we love the daylight lamps because of the brightness and the cool light. It doesn't heat up. Let's keep walking. This you know, out here is, we put most of our canvases on louvered panels. I think right now we've expanded from our old store of 2,000 canvases. We're now at a little over 5,000, and in a year or two we should be up at 8,000. And again, let's just go right back into this room quickly. Here is the concept. It's easier to see. Here's a needlepoint frame. It's a Barbara Russell design, and there's the canvas with the stitch guide. So if you love that, here it is. It's ready to buy. And that's one of the goals, is to show a finished piece and see the canvas and have some excitement there. So canvases, all of this, again, another place to sit and learn some things and sit with a teacher or just with some friends. This brick wall will house all of our framing. We never got into framing, and we're going to get into framing in a big way for our national customers. There's so many options and fabulous things about framing. You know, you might have a framer that you like, maybe in Montana or wherever you're from. You know, framing is a very, very important thing that the finishing knows how to do. And the most important part is the blocking. If the framer doesn't know how to block, this can create a lot of problems on the back side of the framing. If your needlepoint just moves 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch because it wasn't blocked properly after a year, it's going to throw off the design. We do know the art of blocking. We put in a washer and dryer just for the blocking, because we do a wet blocking unless there are a lot of specialty stitches. I won't go into too much detail, but blocking is very important, and framing, we think, is fabulous. And having all of these, you know, this is just 1/10 of the amount of frames. They just came in yesterday. We just displayed them quickly. These are all the mats. You know, there's so many fun things that can be done with framing. So over here, this will be all 13 mesh threads. You can see that it started a little bit with 13 mesh threads. 13 mesh threads will encompass over here as well. These are all specialty fabrics. The specialty fabrics for our finishing company. You know, when you send your finishing in to us, the cotton twills and the velvets are always included with your pricing. But there are lots of fabrics that are specialty fabrics, like Dupioni silks and all of these premium fabrics. We get these premium fabrics through a fabric house. They are the sample pieces that you might go with your interior designer, and there'll be a piece on a louver of this fabric. Let's see if it says where this piece is from. No. Here's one right here. And this fabric here is from Italy. And so this fabric, we're very lucky to have this source. So this beautiful piece of fabric is the sample. Maybe you want to build out of your couch or something, or your drapes or whatever, your interior designer is showing you this. Well, when the bolt of this fabric is done, they used to throw this piece away. Now we do trade with them. We say, give us those pieces of fabric because we can use them for our national customers all over the United States, and we can use these as a beautiful backing for a pillow or a fabric frame or a gusset. This piece of fabric probably cost, it's Stark fabric, if anybody knows about that, and it probably cost per linear yard $400. And you can get it here for a $20 ad to $50 ad. So kind of fun and exciting to see all of these specialty fabrics. The other thing that we do is custom painting. We have a painter on staff that's the lead painter, and the lead painter filters out to 6 painters that are all local Philadelphians. And you can see here she's starting to do a sketch. The customer has probably said, hey, maybe there was a picture associated with this, and she started doing the sketch. Generally, we'll do a sketch or a computer-generated design, send it to the customer for approval, and if they're okay, then they will proceed. Here's something that was just thrown together as some art. They approved it. Here we've gone, oh, you know what? This is part of our wholesale program. And we have a large wholesale program. We own Barbara Russell Designs and Changing Women Designs. And then we have all kinds of custom painted designs that are either one-offs, which is a customer like yourself that sends us a photograph, or you can go to our website. This just happened recently. You go to myneedlepoint.com, and myneedlepoint.com is sort of the umbrella of our company. If you go to myneedlepoint.com, this is really exciting to see. We have Rittenhouse Needlepoint, the button. That's where 48,000 items are presently. It's very exciting. Plus, of the 151 lines, we've shot 92 of them. 92 full lines have been shot with high-definition cameras and are loaded to our website. This is unbelievable because you can see the true clarity of the thread. But go to myneedlepoint.com, you'll see Rittenhouse Needlepoint. That's the e-commerce site where you can buy 48,000 items. The next button is finishing. We're going to go into the finishing room in a moment. I'll show you some of the exciting things they're building in there. But then there's another button that says Paint Needlepoint. And Paint Needlepoint, when you click on Paint Needlepoint, you can peruse that site. It's great fun to see. But you can click on the button within Paint Needlepoint that says Get an Estimate. You answer, I think it's 8 or 9 questions, the dimensional size, the mesh count, the way you want it painted, and then you can upload a photo to Paint Needlepoint, and it will come right down here, and they will send you an estimate within 1 week of how much it would cost to paint that. Wow, that's pretty exciting. So let's go on into the finishing company. The finishing company, we keep the door closed because there's some insurance issues. So the finishing company right now, it looks like some of the staff is off to lunch. But you can see, here's just some items that have recently come out of finishing. We have about 16 finishers that work for us. Generally, 4 to 5 of them will be on staff at one time. And they can build everything, literally, except hard leathers right now. The other great thing about our finishing company is that there are no cutoff dates. We just guarantee production between 4 to 6 weeks. We feel that that's the way it should be. There shouldn't be these long wait times. It is hard. I understand most shops don't have what we have, finishers on staff. And so it's very hard. They're having to send to another finishing company, and it takes time. But this is a good platform for us. So no cutoff dates, 4 to 6 weeks production time. You be in charge of your wallet. Obviously your wallet, you can get pretty crazy with your wallet. If you wanted a pillow with a fabric frame, a gusset, ruching, all of this adds time. But then you're the one being in charge of your money, rather than me saying, hey, this is how we're going to build it. we have a 16 needle embroidery machine. And this 16 needle embroidery machine is right here. It's a Bernina. It stitches 1,400 stitches in 1 minute. Now, why do we have such an advanced embroidery machine? We don't really need to have it, but some of our goals moving forward, we have a lot of customers. I think we have 23,000 national customers. And easily 50% of them are using our finishing services. And so wouldn't it be nice if we could take Mrs. Smith in Montana, who sends us all of this finishing, and wouldn't it be great if we could create a logo, or even if her name was Mary Smith, we could take the M and the S and somehow bring the initials together into a little logo. And that we would embroider every one of her projects with her MS. You know, it's very simple. We have a computer. Here's an image that they are taking apart, and then that image can go right onto the embroidery machine, and it can be done for needlepoint, of course. It could be done for shirts and hats and all of those things. We're not going there. We're a needlepoint store. Everything that we do is needlepoint. So let's go on out, and then we'll talk about the education program. I think there's two last things that I haven't discussed, and that is our education program and our charity program. Let's have a quick discussion about the charity. The charity program was something that came about because of me. When I first built this company with Stephen, I told him I would not want to ever needlepoint, and he sort of laughed, and he knew why I was saying that. I have this shaking issue. It's pretty severe. And I didn't think I would ever be able to needlepoint. And after 3 years, it was boring to tell people why I didn't needlepoint. And so I said, Stephen, just show me quickly how to needlepoint, and I'll just say, this is what I'm needlepointing when somebody asks. Well, what I found is that needlepoint, the way I needlepoint, I've actually created another way. It's a little unorthodox, but needlepoint actually stops my shaking. And when I started thinking about, wow, something is actually stopping a physical problem I have, I thought that, you know, we could probably do something that would help a lot of people with all kinds of other issues. Alcoholism, drug addiction, obviously shaking issues, eating disorders, people that of low means that are wanting to get into some meditative mode. Needlepoint is extremely meditative. And so we built this small charity program, and we announced to our national customers, at that time it was only 5,000 people, and we said, hey, if you have an extra bag of thread or half-finished canvas, or maybe a canvas that you're never going to use or whatever, send it in to us, and we will kit it, and we will gift it to people that of low means or that have issues. And this program, in 1 year, it exploded so much that we had to move it to our house in Delaware. Now with this facility, we're very excited that we will be able to bring Charity Needlepoint here. So that's one entity. It's fun. Go to myneedlepoint.com, click on Charity, you'll be able to see. This is something we never had in the other store. Having a designated space in your facility for a class is unbelievable. Close the door. It's semi-quiet in here. You can still hear some things, but having the capability of having a classroom that's unto itself and not on the store floor is huge. When we built this store a few months ago, we had our friend who is a very high-tech guy. He wired this whole space for high technology. Now, I don't know what I'm talking about really, but why is there a TV in the classroom? Well, there's a TV in the classroom because Mrs. Smith from Montana will be able to join the class. Mrs. Smith from Montana can email me at Russell, R-U-S-S-E-L-L, at rittenhouseneedlepoint.com, and she can set up a private class, or Mrs. Smith can join the class. And we will be able to see Mrs. Smith, and she will be able to see the class. So this whole room has been wired with high technology so that we can do advanced classes all over the nation. The other aspect of the classes is a dream that Stephen and I have wanted to do, which I discussed it early on, is the retreat program. And the retreat program, if you go to myneedlepoint.com and click on calendar, soon you will see many, many classes. And all of those classes are live classes here. Eventually, you will be able to click on those classes, and if you are Mrs. Smith in Montana, you will be able to watch those videos. Some will be free, some will be pay, some will be a membership to see. I think people are going to be pretty excited about this. I'm very excited. The retreat program is a little different. The retreat program, lots of places have retreat programs, and the retreat programs are basically a weekend, a long weekend that you might be here, and you might be having a class. Well, the retreat program for us, what we want to do is create a place so that you come and learn, of course, but then there's a field trip that will coordinate with that retreat. So the first one we're scheduling, I've already sold out of 2 of them. Because one was a group of 8 ladies that are coming in and want to do this retreat all themselves. And then another one booked up right away, and I haven't even advertised it. But I'm going to advertise it soon, and it's basically that 3-dimensional flower program. We're going to do 3 different flowers, so there'll be 3 classes, 2 hours each, and it will express different stitches, etc. Probably you'll come in one night, we'll have dinner. The next day we'll have a class on one of the flowers. Early that afternoon, after a light lunch, we're going to drive everybody to Longwood Gardens. Go ahead and Google it, Longwood Gardens. We love Longwood Gardens. And so we'll see the gardens and the flowers. Then our home is close to Longwood Gardens. We'll probably drive to our home, have a light meal there. Maybe we'll do some just extra stitching of those flowers. And then we're going to go back to Longwood Gardens and see the evening pheasant show. Again, Google Longwood Gardens, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And then we're going to drive back to the city. You'll sleep again. And that next day, you'll have 2 more classes. One in the morning, we'll have a light lunch, and then another class on. So you'll be building 3 different flowers, 3-dimensional flowers that you can have as a vase. And we have right now 37 ideas. I'll give you one more taste. Halloween. Halloween is a great, fun holiday here in Philadelphia. So we might do some Halloween-inspired bottles or a house, a spooky house or something. That will be the Needlepoint class. And again, there'll be 3 or 4 classes of this Halloween item. And then for the field trip, we will go to the penitentiary in Philadelphia. And the penitentiary is a prison that has been converted into an incredible tourist site. And they have an incredible Halloween, very scary Halloween tour. So we'll go to that. We might go to the Mutter Museum. You can Google that. That's very interesting. And maybe one other evening, we might go axe throwing. So all the field trips will be coordinated with the retreat. And we have a lot of fun ideas. So I have talked probably too much. The other nice thing about this room, just briefly, is that in the classroom, we have a full library. So the library is open to anybody that would like to use the books. The books are here on the left. The books close to the window are books for free, actually. Stephen has a large Needlepoint collection of books, and Charity Needlepoint has more books than they want, so we are trying to gift out some books. I wanted to express one last thing before we left this room and wrapped it up. All of these books, you see these A through Z books, Stephen has built a stitch guide program. And you can come upstairs and get some ideas for your canvas. If you look right here, I put 2 examples down here. So these books, he used to do a class called Stitch of the Week, which we are going to do again. And all of these are different stitches. This book is all the stitches that he did H through M. And you can peruse through these books and get some ideas. Maybe write down, oh, Melanie's stitch. You might want to do that for the sky of your canvas. You can write that down, and then you can purchase a book and see all of these stitches. You can join a class and learn about all of these stitches. You can sit in this room and get ideas for free. You can sit in this room and have a class with a private teacher. We're all about educating. This is the time that we're going to now launch the education program and help people expand their fun. So let's go back downstairs. Now we have a store that will definitely help us to take the next big steps. Thank you very, very much for joining the tour. I really appreciate it. Remember to check out myneedlepoint.com. And if you have any questions, email me, russell@rittenhouseneedlepoint.com. You can do anything. We'd love to hear from you and send us some ideas of your projects. We're also looking for people to work with us. And you can be a national customer, and you don't need to actually be from Philadelphia to help us. We have many different programs. So thank you very much again for joining this tour. And in about 2 years, look for that expanded video where it will be interactive. Bye for now.